Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Mags. So I hope you all stay safe and well out there. So in today's video we will be talking about the recent update on Harvey Barnes. The news coming of course from Matt Lowe on Harvey Barnes to Newcastle United, and also the recent news that has just come out today about Karius and Paul Dummett as well. And we'll also be talking as well about the reaction of Sandro Tonali's girlfriend to Newcastle United's training ground as well, and showing some images to why she had that kind of reaction, of course, to Newcastle United's training ground. So without further ado, let's get straight into, of course, the video. So starting off, we will talk about the news about, of course, Harvey Barnes first. Newcastle United, of course, are closing in on the signing of Harvey Barnes and hope to agree a deal with Leicester for the winger over the next week. This is according to, of course, news coming from Matt Lowe of the Telegraph, who was saying that Newcastle United are hoping to agree a deal with Leicester for the winger over the next week. That then, of course, was followed up by other news articles coming out and other journalists also jumping on the Harvey Barnes bandwagon. Of course, with Fabrizio Romano coming out saying negotiations are underway for Harvey Barnes to Newcastle. Discussions are ongoing, as of course Telegraph called. Player keen on the move, and Eddie Howe wants Harvey Barnes as well. Then, of course, Fabrizio Romano also says in the same tweet, not done yet, as clubs still have to clarify some details, but well advanced. So, of course, according to Fabrizio Romano, it is quite advanced along. Then, of course, we'll see Ben Jacobs, who we all know is a Leicester City fan, of course, coming out and talking about the Harvey Barnes situation as well, saying Newcastle closing in on Harvey Barnes, as Matt Lowe of DT first called. West Ham, Villa, Spurs, Manus, Solomon have all looked at, of course, Harvey Barnes. NUFC, of course, hoping for under 40 mil, and talks are advanced. So again, Ben Jacobs also saying that the talks are advanced. Then, of course, we'll see Mel Starfoff come out as well, saying the indications that Newcastle have quietly made progress on a deal for Harvey Barnes in the wake of the signing of Sandro Tonali. Easy to see why the winger ticks so many boxes given his ability, age and versatility. Like I said in the previous video when I was talking about Harvey Barnes, he is a very versatile player. He knows how to play in many different positions on the field, and of course, again, his ability is quite obvious, to anybody who watches Premier League football. Then you will know what kind of player Harvey Barnes is. And he has a little comparison between Harvey Barnes and Bukayo Saka of Arsenal, of course. Bukayo Saka there with 135 appearances, Harvey Barnes with 146. But for them extra appearances that Harvey Barnes has got, he's got 35 goals to the 31 goals that Bukayo Saka scored. 25 assists to the 26 assists that Bukayo Saka has, and 17 clean sheets Bukayo Saka has, whilst Harvey Barnes, on the other hand, has 11. So obviously that indicates that Harvey Barnes is more of an attacking player, less of a defensive player. So that is a player that would definitely benefit us going forward, because we do already have enough in the defensive department to deal with the games, of course, and attacks from other teams. So we do need somebody that's going to be able to make them runs forward, like we've seen Miggy doing last season. In the first half of the season, of course, unfortunately lacked off slightly towards the back end of the season after the World Cup, of course. But still, he did his job when he was called upon. Again, I would really like to see Harvey Barnes come to Newcastle. He's ticking all the boxes for me. He's got that ability as well. You can see there by the player comparison with him to Bukayo Saka. And then, of course, he does have that versatility factor as well, which is something that Eddie Howe has looked for in quite a few players. You see it with Jacob Murphy. You see it with Anthony Gordon as well. You see it with Big Joe as well. So we do have a lot of players in the team who do have that versatility to be able to move around and play in different positions, and that helps you in the long run, because then, of course, it gives you many different options out there to switch the team up going forward. So for me, this is just a perfect deal, and hopefully it's not long until, of course, we get it cemented and deal done, and we get that famous "here we go" from Fabrizio Romano to confirm that this deal is definitely going through. He does tick all the boxes, like I say, so it is a deal that I would really like to see happen, and I can see happening. To be honest, it's just going to take some time for that, of course, to happen. And the fee is 35 million from what I got from a couple of articles I've seen so far. They're quoting 35 million to be the fee. Of course, Ben Jacobs there saying under 40 million, so that, you know, goes right within line with what I've seen from many different articles quoting the price that Leicester are looking for Harvey Barnes. Moving away from that, of course, we'll talk about the news that's just recently come out. Of course, that Karius and Paul Dummett have both signed 1-year extensions, so that means that they will stay with the club for one more season. Fantastic news. Karius is a fantastic player and a definite player that you would want to keep on the books as a backup option in the goalkeeping department. Paul Dummett, local lad, should definitely stay on the books in my eyes, should retire with the club in my eyes. And hopefully we will get to see him have a run out in the Champions League this season as well. That would be absolutely fantastic for Paul Dummett to have made it all the way through the academy and then to play in the Champions League as well would be absolutely amazing. Then, of course, we'll move on now to talk about the news of why Sandro Tonali's girlfriend had such a shocked face when she seen Newcastle United's training ground. Well, you can see by the images here, which I'll put up on screen. Of course, this is what AC Milan's training ground, their restaurant, looks like right now. And I've got to say, it for a club of AC Milan's stature, in their reputation in European football and in world football, their training ground isn't that fantastic, I've got to say. Yes, they've got pools. Yes, they've got exercise bikes, and, you know, their restaurant isn't the greatest. It looks more like a small little, you know, restaurant. It doesn't really look like a nice area where the players could go and relax. Their rec room, where the players are meant to be able to wind down after a long day training at the training ground, again, doesn't look fantastic. It just looks like somebody's apartment, to be honest. So it is a bit of a weird one. The changing room in the training ground as well, again, it just doesn't look like a team of their stature should have. It looks like something that maybe, you know, somebody in the Championship or even the top of League One would have, to be honest. It just doesn't look like a team that competes in Europe every single season and has such a big reputation as AC Milan. So I can see, you know, why Sandro Tonali's girlfriend's reaction was so out there, you know, for seeing Newcastle United's training facilities and were restaurant, with canteen, what have you, where the players go and eat at the training ground, and of course the rec room where they get to relax and wind down after a long day of training at the training ground as well. So, you know, yes, ours was not the greatest, but now it is starting to look a little bit better, and this isn't even the final training ground, you know, that we will end up having. This is just a temporary fix for the minute until, of course, we can get the proper training ground. But let us know your thoughts anyway down in the comments below on everything that's been said in this video today, and make sure to hit a like on the video if you have liked it. Please do consider subscribing to the channel as well, as we're on the road to 2k subscribers. Also, massive thank you to Richard, who was one of the first people that joined the membership. If you do want to join the membership, like I say, it is only $1.99, and that is, of course, deducted from your bank account once every month. And of course, that then helps to grow the channel, because that money then goes back into buying things for the channel, lights, equipment, to help improve the quality of the videos for you guys. Until next time, make sure to hit a like, and I'll see you all later. However, lads.